So this is a bit of a continuation of a talk that started a few days ago, because we took the last several days and just did an in-house retreat. And so that talk began with, maybe you think there's something wrong with your mind by now. And so then we spent a day talking about our expectations and how, you know, they're proven false again and again, and how we cling to them and how they create so many difficulties in our life. And then the last 2 days we were talking about our rules of the universe, you know, how the self-centered thought thinks that the universe should run with ourselves at the center of it. And then today we're going to go into some deeper levels of misconceptions, ways in which our mind is wrong. And so I wanted to talk about the 4 distortions. So I won't cover all of them today, but we'll start. So it's 4 distorted ways in which we see objects in cyclic existence. So one is seeing what is foul as beautiful, seeing what is suffering in nature or dukkha in nature as blissful, seeing what is impermanent as permanent, and seeing what has no self as having a self. And so these 4 distortions operate in our mind all the time as we relate to things, you know. And we constantly think that we're seeing things as objective entities, that they really are how they appear to us, you know, in these 4 ways. But when we investigate, we realize that, as usual, we're wrong. So especially, you know, the one about impermanence, I think, is one where we really get so tangled up in our grasping at permanence. So we, you know, we all know things break and we know people die. We know it intellectually, and that's a gross level of impermanence. The subtle level of impermanence, how things are arising and ceasing momentarily, we don't even think about, you know, ordinarily. But even on the gross level, although we know that things change, you know, when they change, we're always surprised when it's not a change we've expected. Okay? So we all know we're going to die, and we all know that the people we care about are going to die, but when somebody dies, we're so shocked, you know? I mean, even if it's somebody who's terminally ill, the day they die, there's still this feeling of, how did they die? You know, that wasn't supposed to happen. Or when things we have that we really cherish, you know, possessions, when they fall and break, we're surprised, even though we know they're going to break. Okay? You know, our car, you treasure so much, we know it's going to get scratched, we know it's going to get dented, but when it happens, we're like, how did this happen? This wasn't supposed to happen, you know? So these are just this is just gross level of impermanence, and yet that we understand intellectually, but on a gut level, you know, we're so out of touch with that, so unfamiliar with that, you know? And that's why in the practice, the meditation on impermanence and death is so important to get us actively engaged in our meditation practice. Because as long as we have the idea that I'm going to live forever, and that feeling that, you know, oh yeah, death happens, but to other people, and it'll happen to me, but later, you know, then when death is there, we're so shocked. And so the Buddha has us meditating on death right from the get-go of the practice, so that we begin to understand this gross impermanence. And by understanding it, it makes us really cherish the opportunities that we have and take advantage of the opportunities that we have, instead of just fritter them away because we think that everything's always going to be there. you know? And so to really make use of our life to practice the Dharma, and to also get used to the idea that you know, the people we love and cherish are not always going to be here. So when they die, we aren't so totally freaked out. And when death comes our way, we aren't so shocked that it's happening. Yeah? But it requires a lot of meditation just to even get, you know, rid of that grossest of obscuration and get some gut feeling that, yes, I'm going to die, and I don't know when. And at the time I die, the only thing that's important to me is my practice and the karma I've created. My body's not important, my friends and relatives aren't important, my social status isn't important, my possessions aren't important. Yeah. But just to get to that level, you know, it's at the beginning of the Lam Rim, this meditation, you know? And we've been practicing it for years, but it's really hard to get it in here, yeah, so that it actually makes a change in how we live our lives. Okay, so we'll continue some more with impermanence and the other distortions in the upcoming days.